Welcome to today's breakdown, and oh boy, this one's explosive. A college student steps up to challenge Charlie Kirk with a bold accusation. Trump might be flirting with fascism. That's right, the F word enters the chat immediately, and Kirk fires back with a defense that's equal parts combative and strategic. Stick around, because this exchange dives into free speech, executive power, and the very definition of fascism. And trust me, you're going to want to weigh in on who wins this one.
Here we go.
Hello, Mr. Kirk. I came a long way to see you. Well, I go to school here, but I'm from Texas.
So you walked across the campus.
Pretty much. So, I have a definition for you, and then I'll go from there. So, fascism, as described, is a political system based on a very powerful leader, state control, and being extremely proud of the country and race, in which political opposition is not allowed. Now, I am not saying Trump is inherently fascist and the administration is fascist. But what I've been seeing is the introductory steps to fascism. He's tried to make the executive branch more a controlling power and even trying to test the judicial limits that he appointed. The chief judge had to tell him to rein it in, and he's the one that was appointed by Trump. His own judges are saying, you need to stop this. He's consistently been going against American values that have been in place for hundreds of years and trying to reimagine how the American government should be. How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, I think it's preposterous. I mean, Donald Trump is not a fascist. Let me ask you a question. Do fascists protect freedom of speech?
No, and he hasn't.
Well, hold on. No, he actually has, to such a great extent where he says colleges are not getting money if they don't protect freedom of speech. He's defunding colleges if they don't protect freedom of speech. In fact, Donald Trump has gone out of his way to make sure that all Americans have the freedom of speech. All U.S. citizens do. And so an attribute of fascism is also basically quashing political dissent, as you would say, right? Which political party tried to put the opposition leader in prison for 700 years? Was it Donald Trump or Joe Biden that tried to put his rival in jail?
Okay, pause here. This is where the clash heats up. The student claims Trump is laying the groundwork for authoritarian control, pointing to executive overreach and hush money scandals. But Kirk flips the script, arguing Trump is the protector of free speech, while accusing Democrats of weaponizing indictments against him. Notice what's happening. Both sides are redefining the term fascism to suit their narrative. That's a classic political move. So I'll throw it to you. What do you think? Is Trump protecting democracy or pushing America towards something darker? Drop your take in the comment.
For 700 years.
Joe Biden. But I
Yeah,
have a
so
rebuttal
would
to
Joe
that.
Biden be a fascist then?
No.
But you just said that's a hallmark definition of fascism, quelching political opposition. I will go a step further. Wasn't the Democrat Party acting fascistic by indicting Donald Trump on all these charges the first time in American history to basically eliminate the MAGA movement?
It wasn't to eliminate the MAGA movement, it was to get to man. Because Trump himself was doing very shady things. He was having hush money trials, which is true. He's a convicted felon. He tried to keep documents.
Well, he's also your president, so you have to say that as well.
Yes, he is my president.
Okay, good. I mean, again, this whole convicted felon thing is so preposterous and so ridiculous. But again, your definition of fascism is, as you read it, not just so narrow. Donald Trump is the opposite of that. Do fascists want people to own more guns or less guns?
Less guns.
Yeah, so why would Donald Trump now make it easier for people to own guns then?
But that's not the point.
Well, it is a
Not
point.
everything. That's why I said Trump is not a fascist himself, and this is not a fascist
But it's
administration
just-
yet. There are certain aspects that he's doing that is fascist. He's trying to
It's
make the
just-
centralized power in the executive branch to control everything that's around him.
It's called the
he has a bunch
unitary
of yes
executive theory is not fascistic. Again, just looking around every corner and acting like that's fascist, that fascist. It's so destructive to our discourse because he's the opposite of such a fascist.
That's why I haven't said he's a fascist.
No, I understand. I know what you're saying.
haven't explained anything.
I would not look at a single thing he's done that is even close to fascistic. It's nationalistic.
Which
it's
is a definition of fascism.
Not necessarily. You could be a
It's an
nationalist
aspect of
communist.
fascism.
Not true. The Soviets and the Bolsheviks were nationalist communists. You could be a nationalist and not be a fascist.
But you can argue that the communism that was going on there was not real communism. That's not Marxist's thing.
What-
And
what-
I
what-
don't align with communism. But that was more of authoritative communism.
It was never
Communism.
real communism. That's right.
No, it was not real communism.
We don't agree on this. So what is your then contention?
My contention is that we are approaching a era in America where we are going to be tested. And now we are getting to a point what's almost as modern day tribalism, which is happening in Africa. I am part Ethiopian. My dad was an immigrant here. He came here legally and did all the steps and all that. But just like in Africa with Ethiopia and their government, Tigray, which is a subsection of Ethiopia, is being slaughtered because of tribalism. They're all part of Ethiopia. Ethiopia used to be 3 countries together: Somalia, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. It's modern day tribalism. They split because they didn't want to be part of the tribes anymore. And now we're seeing with the political parties so polarized, we don't even want to talk to each other anymore. Which is why I came out here today.
Thank you for that. Just a super interesting hypothetical one about like division and tribalism. Was there a recent time where a Democrat came on campus and just had an open mic where anyone could disagree with them? Are you aware of that kind of an event?
No. This is like one of the first events I've seen.
No, thank you. So the point is it the MAGA movement, like myself, or Democrats that are inviting discourse and speech to try to find common ground?
Well, I feel that you, yourself, Charlie, is a person that invites criticism and stuff like that.
Thank you for that.
This type of stuff I like. Trump doesn't do that. He doesn't see debate. He more just says.
I would push back, though. It's Donald Trump who will sit in the Oval Office and take questions uninterrupted for 45 minutes when Joe Biden, couldn't even answer a single question. I know that you're not, supporting Joe Biden. But back to your original contention. I need to forcefully push back on this because there is nothing fascistic about deporting people in your country that are here illegally, securing your borders, and putting your own people first. You're right. We are being tested. I think we're being tested in a different way. We're being tested at whether or not, when the American people overwhelmingly vote for something, are they going to get it? And right now, a group of unelected judges and unelected bureaucracy is trying to stop the will of the popular vote of the American people, which I think is way more dangerous than the boogeyman of fascism in our country right now.
Well, I would say that's not really a boogeyman of fascism. It's just fascistic tendencies that are seeming to get more and more consistent with how Trump wants to run his government. And as for the judges, it's checks and balances. They're there to make sure that, hey, let me check this out real quick and go through all the documents our forefathers have written.
No. The founding fathers never gave district court judges nationwide injunction power. This is a new thing over the last 50 years. That's fine. We're not going to agree on a lot, but I will say this, that the criticisms that we are the fascists are laughable. Because let me just ask you, and this is just more broadly, and I understand this is not to Trump. How many of you students out there feel as if you'd be graded differently if you come out as a conservative or a Trump supporter? Raise your hand. Look around. Every hand goes up. And so that is the cultural left on Michigan State's campus that will use power to punish a student with their grades because they have different views. That's fascism. That is definitional fascism. And I'm not saying you're defending that.
Hold up.
But I want to make sure you're consistent that there are fascistic tendencies more so on the left than anywhere on the right.
Then I want to say this. I am from Texas. We're southern as it gets, conservative as it gets. No matter how many times my city of Dallas goes blue, Fort Worth goes blue, Houston goes blue, we're always going to be red, and I've accepted that. And I don't mind that. But also the same...
God bless Texas.
God bless Texas. The same thing that happens here happens at campuses over in Texas. Not UT, because that's Austin.
No, for sure. The campuses are islands of totalitarianism. That's my point, is that campuses, because they're so homogeneously to the left, that even if you go to Alabama, the same thing happens. It's not a red state or blue state issue. It's that these campuses are super, super far to the left as a posture of just ideological diversity.
I don't believe that. Texas A&M, I have several friends that go there. They're all some of my best friends from high school. Very conservative. I see stuff they post on time all the time.
First of all,
it's not exactly...
Come on, man.
This school's board. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I got to get to the next question. But 98% of all college professors gave to Kamala Harris. 98% that gave to Kamala Harris. And I don't need to ask the audience because we know it's true. Would you guys say that most professors are conservative or liberal here? Would you say they're liberal?
Professors, not the people in power. The school board.
The administration.
Yeah, the administration of the school is what makes the decision. We have a student body here that makes resolutions and says things to the student board. They never listen.
Doesn't the governor appoint the Board of Regents in Michigan? Is it elected? Okay. Well, then it's I don't know what the balance is in Michigan.
Exactly. It's elected here. So someone can run on a completely random issue. Like, I remember someone ran because they wanted to reinstate the swim team. There's no swim team here.
Okay.
It's stuff like that. They get elected.
But maybe
to
we
stuff
should
and
bring
then
back the swim team.
start
Is that
making-
fascism? I don't know. So,
But they get elected and then they
Fair
don't
enough.
do stuff that's consecutive to the university. They more try to silence stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that's happened on this campus that many people may not know, and they send ambiguous emails and stuff. It's stuff like that. It's not just this university.
no,
It's-
that's not my
every
contention.
university
I just
has
want
its
to make.
own
I want to
type
make
of atmosphere.
My takeaway for you is if you're going to try to be pattern recognition with Trump for fascism, look at the American left and do the same. Try to say, huh? Because for example, I mean, something that I think is inherently fascistic and disgusting is when Tim Walz is out there cheering for Tesla's stock price to go down. I mean, it's awful, right? I mean, who does something like that? You disagree with a company and you want to see a bunch of people go out of work?
The same way Trump promoted Teslas by having them on the lawn.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That's
This-
more American
that's the
jobs,
same
more
thing
American
as-
labor. No, it's the opposite.
That's promoting the stock because people are going to see people in the
First of all,
MAGA movement
hold on.
love Trump and
Wait,
want to do stuff
what-
that's like
what-
him.
one
It's
is
psychology.
One is good for America, more American jobs, more American labor. Tim Walz is cheering for a factory to close. He's cheering for people to go out of work, which I find to be really disturbing. Thank you for your time. I got to the next question. Thank you.
Charles.
Appreciate it.
And there you have it, an intense back and forth that says more about America's political divide than just Trump himself. The student fears creeping authoritarianism, while Kirk insists it's the left using fascist tactics on campuses and in courtrooms. Both paint the other side as the real threat to democracy, and neither is backing down. Here's the big takeaway: definitions matter, but so does perspective. What looks like fascism to one side can feel like justice or protection to the other. So who do you think landed the stronger blows here? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more sharp, unfiltered debate breakdowns, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.